new study by the Center for Public Integrity found that nearly 200 of the president's biggest donors have landed plum government jobs and advisory posts, won millions of dollars in federal contracts for their businesses, and attended elite White House meetings. Do you have any response?
Well, I would simply say that this administration looks for the most qualified candidates who represent Americans from all walks of life when it makes appointments. The administration also has, across the board, the toughest ethics standards in history, including a bold commitment to transparency, which I have discussed frequently from here. Now, the people we have appointed, the President has appointed to key positions, all have sterling academic credentials, years of public service and private sector experience that make them eminently qualified for the positions to which they were appointed. And I would make the point here that having enacted these high ethical standards, the highest in history, and having pursued and delivered on a level of transparency that is unprecedented, it is important to note that being a supporter does not qualify you for a job or guarantee you a job, but it does not disqualify you, obviously. So we stand by all of our appointments. We believe they are enormously qualified for the jobs that they hold.
And how does that square with what the President said in his announcement speech in 2007? He said, quote, "The cynics and the lobbyists and the special interests who've turned our government into a game only they can afford to play. They write the checks and you get stuck with the bills. They get the access while you get to write a letter." He said the time for that politics is over.
Well, right, but we were talking about, you asked me about supporters of the President who may have been donors who have gotten positions, and I would point out to the fact that the people who got those positions got them because of their credentials. They also happen to be donors in some cases. There are obviously numerous and far many more cases of people who weren't donors who were appointed to jobs. And that's a lot different from the problem that exists in Washington and existed in Washington with special interests having lobbying success here in terms of the effect that has on legislation that's produced in Congress and signed into law. So. And we have been incredibly aggressive in that. I mean, we are, again, it is important to remember the kinds of transparency, the kind of transparency we have made a regular practice here, including releasing the waves logs, something that is never done before in terms of visitors to the White House, and the other measures we've taken in terms of the what you can and cannot do in the wake of serving in this administration in terms of lobbying and that sort of thing. So we believe that we've taken important measures that qualify the praise that this administration has gotten for its high ethical standards, and we stand by that. Yes?
Jay, following up on that, are you saying that raising or bundling $100,000 or $500,000 does not give a person any leg up in looking for an administration job?
I am saying that. I'm saying that the President appoints people based on their qualifications.
It has nothing to do with raising him $500,000.
Sure. I think that I didn't raise $500,000. I didn't raise any money. I'm standing here, and the fact is that the President made clear that he would make political appointments, as every president before him has, but we have enacted ethical standards and levels of transparency that are unprecedented, that we believe should give the American people the kind of confidence that they have lacked in the past, that the people that the President has appointed to these jobs are highly qualified and have the credentials necessary to perform their duties.
So nearly 80% of the people who bundled more than $500,000 got key administration positions. That has nothing to do with the money they raised.
I don't know. We can have this discussion. Those people are highly qualified individuals who happen to be highly successful in the things that they've done in life. But the fact is, I would look at the people we've appointed, look at their credentials, look at their qualifications.
Look at the money they've raised. That's not a factor.
And I'm saying it is not a disqualification for office to have been a supporter of the President.
Would it be wrong to reward people for the hard work of raising $500,000?
It would be wrong if they weren't qualified.
But would it be
and
wrong
we stand by the
reward them?
It would be wrong if it were not qualified. I think I answered your question.
Would it be wrong to take that as a consider that as a factor, that hard work of raising all that money, $500,000? That's a lot of money. That's a lot of work.
I think I've said everything I can say about this, and I've answered your question. It would be wrong to appoint someone who wasn't qualified to the job, and the President has appointed highly qualified individuals to the positions that he has appointed as President, and we stand by those appointments.